Greetings and hello and welcome to another Diablo 3 build. After a long time I'm making a build for a wizard, and no, it's not the archon build that everyone is using because I'm at a few problems with it. And that's one, if you want to do the higher monster powers you need sick gear. It costs too much, and if you don't have the cash it's going to be a really problem to get that gear. So this is simpler build, doesn't use archon. It's mostly I can farm it with on Inferno 3. I advise people that gonna use this build start off with Inferno 1 or maybe 0 and learn the build, learn how to use it, and learn how you can go better with it and practice a lot. That's all I can give as tip. So let's start off with the skills. On the primary we got electrocute with chain lightning, and you can also use the lightning blast, but I prefer chain lightning, is easier to hit mobs and it does a lot of damage when it crits. So yeah, that's a pretty useful standard primary. Over to the secondary, and that's arcane orb with celestial orb, and I use celestial orb to hit multiple mobs with it. The problem is if you use the other ones it explodes on the first target it hits, and now it passes through all of them, and with my gear I got 200-300k crits at least if it is higher. So yeah, you pretty much one hit the most mobs with it. Okay, over to the first skill of the action bar, and that's diamond skin with crystal shell. Crystal shell because more absorption means less damage you take, and that comes always in handy. You can also use enduring skin if you like to, but I prefer crystal shell, so choose whatever you want on that one, it isn't really important for the build. Over to the second one, it's meteor. With meteor shower I use as an extra offensive spell. You can put the same as the first skill, whatever you like. I use this one to kill even quicker great area of mobs. If you throw down the meteor shower, you weakening mostly everything of the pack or the whole area, and then just with 1 or 2 arcane orbs you're just finishing it off. Okay, over now to the third skill, and that one is pretty important. You can put 2 skills on this one. If you need more defense I would recommend energy armor with prismatic armor or force armor. That 2 are for the players that doesn't have the defensive gear up and running. If you have enough damage and you're going to run through lower monster powers, I would recommend the storm armor. And then with the shocking aspect, the weaker mobs are insta killed with it. My highest crit with it was around 400k. So it does a lot of damage and always in handy because you only have to put on extra damage on your skills or on your abilities. So that's your choice, and it's what kind of wizard you want to play. That's what you're gonna choose here. And over to the fourth one, it's magic weapon. I used electrified on it because most of your damage will be lightning damage with the items. I will get to that in a second. But this one does even more lightning damage, and since lightning damage is buffed it does a lot of damage. But again, if you want to play more defensive, choose the blood magic rune, give life on when you damage a unit. So that's pretty handy for people that want to play the more defensive wizard instead of the offensive. So now over to the passive. I will do this quick, this is not pretty much new stuff for people. And I start off with glass cannon, increases all damage done. It's pretty logic that you use that one. Over to the second passive skill, and that's arcane dynamo. It uses signature spells, and after 5 flashes, you gain that with using these signatures, that are magic missiles, shock pulse, spectral blade and electrocute. You gain a one-time ability that you can deal 75% additional damage on a skill, and if you see that and you do Arcane Orb, your crit will be around 600k, and in my case it will be around 700-800k, so that's an insta kill on many mobs. Yeah, and that's always yeah, good. Now to the last one, critical hits for critical mass, and that those critical hits have a chance to reduce your cooldown of your spells with 1 second. That's mostly for the diamond skin, and yeah, that's it actually. The rest of my skills doesn't use cooldown, but if you can keep yeah, if you're in a hard fight, let's say against mob pack with reflect damage, and you can spam your diamond skin all the time, you haven't got any problem with the mob. So yeah, that's one of the things that is pretty handy to do. So now over to my items, and there are some important things in them. Let's start off with the weapon and the offhand. I would recommend Echoing Fury. What you can do also is choose a one-handed, but there's one precondition you have, two actually. You have to get on them, and that's life percentage. The damage of dealt is covered to life. I would recommend around 2.7, 2.8% to keep yourself alive. 3.0 is great, but yeah, the items are really expensive on that one. And the second thing you have to do, the item can't have any elemental damage like poison, lightning, holy, that kind of stuff. And that is because on many of your items there will be a percent lightning damage. And yeah, if you have an item with a property on that, the all percent lightning damage doesn't affect it anymore. So keep in mind that you have to get a weapon without any elemental damage. So over to your offhand. That will be triumvirate. The good thing about it, it's pretty cheap. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on that. I actually paid 1 million for this item, and it's a really great one. The important thing is that you have at least got 6% lightning damage. The other two, fire and arcane, are not that important for this build. Yeah, I would recommend high intelligence, at least 250, but prefer to have 270. If it's possible, if there's a cheap one, also vitality. And of course critical hit chance, but that's standard on this one. So now over to the other important pieces. No, not this one. The Stormcrow, that one was it. The Stormcrow gives lightning percent damage, and in my case 7%, so pretty high. The rest of the stats aren't that important. Yeah, you got live on hit, damage against elites by 4% and crit chance, so that's pretty nice to have on your head. Now over to my necklace, and that's Tall Rushes. And again, you got to get the one with lightning damage on that one. Yeah, good intelligence like always. I got 270, it's fine for this one. I paid a little bit more for this one, but you can get a cheap one as well. Then it's only without the vitality. And high critical hit damage. I think it starts at 60%, so that will be okay. Okay, now I would recommend a Val Ward as shoulders, because it gives a little bit extra defense and also is great as offense. So yeah, it's a great shoulder part for every class, I think. Well, your body, I would recommend the Tall Rusher set for your body and belt. That's because if you got 3 set bonus, so with the necklace, you got 3% lightning damage extra, and again, you use it on almost every skill you got, so it's always handy to get that 3% extra. The belt gives me 4% against elite damage, a lot of intelligence, a little bit critical hit chance, only 1%, but 1% is 1%, right? And on the belt I get 9% attack speed, around 280 intelligence and 130 vitality, so that's great as well. I got here, yeah, I haven't been got enough money to upgrade these, but I got for now Promises of Glory, really cheap item. It gives me 3.5% critical hit chance and 180 intelligence, so for the money I spent on it, it was 200k, it's a great upgrade for every wizard that don't have enough money and want to buy a budget wizard, so I really recommend this item for everyone. Over to the hands. Yeah, the best item you can use on that one is actually a rare, and that is because rares are the only one that have crit chance, attack speed and crit damage on one item. I don't got the one with crit damage because they start at 100 mil, I thought, for a good one. But if you want to buy one with attack speed and crit chance, in my case 9.5% crit chance, 7% attack speed and 200 intelligence, you only will be around 10 million. So for the people with that kind of money, this item I would recommend. Otherwise, focus only on the crit chance and not on the attack speed, because crit chance is a hell of important with this build, because you want to crit as much as you can with Arcane Orb and your Electrocute. So keep that one in mind. Same for the ring, they're a lot cheaper. So I got a rare ring with 120 int, attack speed 6% and crit chance 4%. So pretty decent ring for 100k, so that's not much for that kind of ring. On my legs I use Death Digger. That's because of the high intelligence. Also mine got physical resistance and all resistance, and yeah, a little bit more defense is never a waste of money, I think. So over to my other ring, that's Zunimasi's Pox, and that's because my boots are also from Zunimasi's. And yeah, it gives a 130 intelligence extra, so always good to go. Mine got 120 int and 61 all resistance and crit damage of 32. I spent a little bit more on this, but yeah, you can also buy a cheaper ring for less money and then build also your boots otherwise. I would recommend them Firewalkers, because they're cheap and give lots and lots of intelligence. So over to the boots, like I said, Tsunamasas, and this one got 7% poison damage, and not that important for a mage, but 152 intelligence, 76 vitality and movement speed. And movement speed you have to get on your boots just for speed running through everything. So yeah, that was this build. I hope you like it. Hope it will help you. And for questions, you can always PM me or contact me on Twitch, or see when I'm live streaming and asking then. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and hope to see you next time in my videos or at my live streams.